Welcome to the Interior Design Talking Heads series, where we invite recent graduates to share their final projects. These short interviews aim to give an insight into the wonderful world of interior design, as well as the type of project that can be developed while studying on the course at Falmouth. With me today is Jay, who is going to be sharing her final project with us, and she's very much interested in commercial design and brand. Jay, over to you.
Yeah, so commercial design was a focus that I wanted to take in third year. I started out by thinking what kind of brand would I want to investigate, what kind of theme would I want to look into, and mental wellness and mental health was something that I decided was a focus that I would enjoy exploring and something that I hadn't really done before. I ended up picking a brand called Headspace, which focused on bringing mindfulness and allowing people to explore their own mental well-being through a digital subscription. So this kind of concept that I came about was this idea of thinking of the mind as a muscle that needs to exercise. And I came up with a concept. So my key concept was allowing people to escape the office and this surreal atmosphere. So this image on the screen right now is probably a key piece of imagery. This spherical language just followed throughout the portfolio and the design scheme that I ended up creating. So the concept was to create an analog experience away from the screen and disrupting this negative view of mental health and well-being in the workplace. It kind of can be looked down upon in the work environment, and just trying to create a series of interactions that can improve people's mental well-being from day to day in the office and allow them to reset and be more productive when they go back to work. So this idea of mixing movement, your typical gym, and mindfulness together to create this project. So the brief, using that Headspace subscription from that brand, I really did do a deep dive into what that brand has to offer, and I pulled quite a lot of key ideas from there, and I was trying to bring that together into a physical experience and asking the question, what if we tackled mental well-being before it became an issue for people? This is the brand. This is some screenshots from the app, the online offering that they have at the moment. And this is some like snippets of information from that research I did. You can see the brand logo. It has an imperfect circle, is their logo, and it just says Headspace next to it. So this is a wow source of image of the project where it kind of shows all levels, the final design, everything all done. So you can see I've taken that spherical language and I've kind of created these forms there. I've just tried to have as much like fun while I can when it's a theoretical project, and creating something that's visually interesting. So this idea of the gym kind of improve well-being for office life again. So you can see you've got the kind of the gym, typical gym layers. There's a kind of cafe nourishment section weaved in there. You've got meditation, and then there's nap pods on the top floor. But I think there's quite a nice image. It shows the flow. It shows how different people can use the space. I made this myself. It took a bit of time, but you get used to it by the end. So yeah, that's the app again, and this idea of move, meditation, sleep, and focus. Those are the key things that, from research, I discovered need to happen in this space for it to fit those ideas of mental well-being and improving people's lives. So the site itself, you get to pick whatever site you want within like certain parameters, so like size-wise and floors. So I found a site in Manchester. There's quite a lot of offices nearby. It's in a good location. It's easily accessible for a lot of people, but it's a good thing that you can pick whatever site you want because it can fit into the idea that you have rather than trying to fit an idea into a list of sites. That's just a bit more site information, some conclusions. It's grade 2 listed, so I had to do a bit of an investigation into that. Some more site diagrams. And then, yeah, so it's that idea of taking these conclusions about the site and bringing them into like quick little visuals and diagrams that explain what you have discovered. And here I've kind of decided what I need to get rid of in the building at the moment to make it function for my idea. These are some more user profiles. They're all office workers, but how it can this space could help different people. So this is kind of a day in the life in the project itself. So these are quick little snapshots from different locations, kind of as if you were in the building yourself and images were taken. Just kind of showing the language, the design language, how people interact in the space, and the different spaces that I've described earlier actually visualized. So you've got like changing rooms and your fitness area, which are kind of traditional gym places. And then you've got your less traditional, you've got your like nap pods and meditation. But throughout you can kind of see that spherical shapes. So this is a primary mood board, so kind of a typical interior design. Building these mood boards, it really helps to like clarify your language, your atmosphere, what the building has, and just trying to summarize that all in one kind of visual. So I've got a big image here with a head exploding, so this idea of someone feeling overwhelmed. And then I've taken the language of the original building, you've got some of the orange, just kind of creating this atmosphere of calm as well. And then I've put my materials in spheres, just to kind of reflect that from the brand. So these are case studies, quite important. These influenced the design in the end, and helped me kind of figure out what I needed in the space, taking inspiration from things that people had already done. And so some strategy diagrams, this is kind of how the design scheme ended up being built. So taking that brand, making those, taking the sphere and popping them throughout the building. This idea of connection and escape, having both of those spaces, I found was important through research that I'd done earlier on in the year. So onto floor plans. So this is the ground floor. So you enter from street level. There's a reception. You drop your phones off because analog experience is kind of what I'm wanting to offer in the scheme. As you work your way up, you get traditional kind of, you can see gym equipment, there's acrobatic yoga. Then on the other side, there's a changing room space there. Moving on to the second floor, you've got some more gym space, more individual kind of spaces. And then on the third floor, you've got individual spaces to listen to some sound that's taken from the app, and there's meditation spaces and consultation. So there's quite a lot fitting onto this floor. And then on the fourth floor is dedicated to nap and gazing and just kind of more relaxation. So as you work up through the building, it goes from noisy to quiet. Spherical language throughout the floor plans. So that's just it in 3D again, so you can kind of get an idea, taking it from being a flat plan to actually how it would look in real life, kind of exploration into that. So you can see those spherical forms and the colour. So the colour is a key thing. I took the orange obviously from the logo, and then I spent a lot of time exploring the headspace offering and seeing what colours they use and what colour palette they use at the moment, and trying to weave that in, but not being too overwhelming to create this calming atmosphere for meditation and mindfulness. So that's so again, this is more material expression. So you do a thing called technical design in your third year, where you explore further how things can be built and materials, lighting, and kind of picking furniture and basically a taster of what it's like in the real world to make your design happen. So on the screen, the big image right now, I have spent a lot of time. You get a lot of help with this through case studies and staff members, but I've discovered, I've explored, how to build these structures, how it would fit into the building. But I've also looked at material expression, so using marmoleum, investigating acoustics, especially on the fourth floor where it's going to be naps and like a very quiet area. So it's kind of sealed off from the other floors. And then on the second floor, there's kind of a seat that's etched down. So I spent a bit of time designing how that would actually be built in the space itself and how that would work. So that's actually CNC'd cut ply, and then on site it would be constructed and steam, then there would be wood steam bent, and then you get marmoleum fitted over the top of it for it to function. So, and in regards to furniture, I picked a lot of it, thinking about sustainability and what actually fits with the design, not to make it too overwhelming. But you can kind of see a snapshot of all of that in the technical design on the screen. And this is another one of those snapshots. So this is the meditation pod, and you can see looking down, that's the kind of cafe refreshment space below. And this kind of, again, that spherical language taken from the branded idea of the project, but bringing it into real life and giving it a physical function, each idea that's in the app already. So yeah, that is my project portfolio.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Jay, for that concise exploration of your amazing project. I just have a couple of quick questions to finish with. And my first would be, what advice would you give to anybody who's considering studying interior design?
I definitely say keep an open mind. It is a lot different than what you would think interior design is from like TV and shows where just picking cushions and wallpaper. It's more about exploration into people themselves and how a space can help improve their like lives, or what works in real life, like through design, rather than just picking color palettes and things like that.
And my final question would be, what did you enjoy most about your time studying at Falmouth University?
I have to say the location is probably one of the things that everyone says is amazing, but with it being right by the beach. But another thing is the freedom that the course itself gives you. You can kind of pick up throughout the first and second years what you're interested in, and then in the final year you can kind of be like, yeah, I know I like this, so I want to do something about this, and then you just get support from the course team on kind of where you want to go in design in the future.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Jay, for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you.